Compared to YouTube anyway, YouTube takes a little while for it to upload. There, contest of speed, that one. Scroll down, that one. That one. So the stream's up. And I think my audio is working as it should. Twitch ads. They're always great. It's good to see more and more of them. Right, so I think everything should be working as it should. So, hello everyone and welcome to round 16 of the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event. We're back and this time we're at Autodromo Internacional do Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. A brand new racetrack for us here at Contest of Speed, the 2.81 mile 15 turn circuit that served as Portugal's re-entry to Formula One after a 24-year absence, is quite a fast, technical and demanding circuit. From my experience as a commentator at this circuit, the best overtaking spots are with the help of DRS down the pit straight into turn 1 and down the long straightaway into turn 5. We may also see a little bit of battling into turn 7 and 8 as well. For the rest of the circuit, drivers will be hanging on for dear life as they're on the edge of grip and control through several of the high-speed sections. Tyre wear really isn't an issue here as well, so expect to see drivers do long stints on the soft compound tyre. Speaking of which, the weather conditions for quali and the race will be overcast but dry, so no wet weather interference is forecasted. Hopefully this new addition to the Contest of Speed calendar will provide us with some tight qualifying and hopefully an entertaining race. But before we focus on that, let's talk a little bit from what has happened from the past couple of weeks here on Contest of Speed, because last week we had a nice little week off due to American Thanksgiving. It's quite nice to have a nice little reset, recharge the batteries and whatnot. But we come here to Portugal nice and fresh, ready for the race. No steward reports, well, at the very least that I'm aware of, from Shanghai, so the results stand from a fortnight ago. Looking in the Drivers' Championship, Assassin is leading on 303 points over Barmer 22 on 194. It's quite a big margin between the top two now. It really is looking like a one-horse race for the Drivers' title. P3 is Andy Wu on 131, followed by Cos Cameron on 128. So only 3 points separating those two. And then Cameron, P5 on 120. So 11 points separating those three, Andy, Arba and Cameron, so it's pretty close. KD is 6, currently on 75 points, followed by Aaron Kerry. Then P-Dog Payton, Kitten Petter and Fredhead rounds out the top 10. Payton is backing off, trying to get out of everybody's way. Bersey has invalidated too. Jack, you're on a flying lap, so we'll look at you for now. Looking in the Constructors' Championship, Aston Martin are leading on 372 points, followed by Mercedes on 314. McLaren are third on 183, followed by AlphaTauri, then Alfa Romeo. Ferrari are next, followed by Haas, then Alpine, Williams, and Red Bull. And in more sad news, we heard from a few days ago about the passing of Sir Frank Williams, aged 79, the founder and team principal for over 4 decades of the Williams Formula One team. Led the outfit to 114 Grand Prix wins, 7 drivers and 9 constructors championships. He, with the help of several key members such as his wife Virginia and daughter Claire, turned his once fledgling racing team into the 4th most successful Formula One racing team in history, behind only Mercedes, McLaren and Ferrari. Rest in peace, Sir Frank. You'll be sorely missed, but rest assured, you will never, ever be forgotten. Now, that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now fully focus on qualifying. And hopefully it will be quite tight here as well. It's quite a quick lap. You can see current pole sitter is Cameron with a 16.5. So it's only a 75, 76 second lap here at Portugal. So hopefully qualifying will be tight. Peyton currently coming through the middle sector. It's quite the roller coaster ride here at Portimao. A lot of dips, a lot of crests for you to navigate. It's very easy to lose control through this sector, or at least from my experiences driving around the circuit. Let's see here. Peyton, I believe, is coming towards the end of his flying lap around the final corner, up towards the line. Across the line goes P6 with a 1 minute 17.237. Express, he's not on a push lap. I think might be on an in lap. But he's getting ready to set a flying lap as well. He'll be hoping to continue this fight between Andy and Cameron for third in the Drivers' Championship. They are some way behind Barmer and Passassin at the top, who I've noticed is absent for this race here today. Interesting to see. As Arbam will begin his flying lap. We're right on board. Give you a guided tour of this racetrack. Down the long straightaway towards the heavy braking zone of turn 1. Get on the brakes at the 50 board, 6th gear. Then through turn 2, flat out into the hairpin of turn 3. 3rd gear, you have to be very steady through here. Through the tricky left-hander of turn 4, very easy to lose traction. Very easy to end up into the left-hand side barrier. Down the long back straightaway into the hairpin of turn 5. Probably the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit. It's a nice exit. We'll come up to the flat-out left-hander of turn 6. Oh, that's right. I remember, Barmer. I'll mention that after the lap. Exiting turn 8. Up and over the crest, down the hill. Through turn 9. Then into the very tricky turns 10 and 11. A very, very tricky complex to get right. If you don't have racing line, it's very difficult to know where to go and what line to take. Into the hairpin of turn 13. Climbing back up the hill, then slightly back down the hill around turn 14. Get a nice exit, use all the curb, and around the flat out final curve of turn 15. Back onto the pit straight. He's out of battery. So it's good to see that's still a thing in this game as Arbar goes 4th place. Yes, I completely forgot about that Passassin has moved to PC. He's moved away from the PlayStation leagues. He's gone over to PC. I completely forgot about that. No. You'd be against fairly stiff competition. That's typically where the best esports races are at, on the PC side of things. I wish them all the best for these future competitions in the PC world. But that does throw a bit of a spanner in the works as well, because the gap between him and... Ooh, the gap between him and Barmer. What's that gap? 100... Ooh, as just... My goodness, loses control of the car. At the top of the hill at turn 11. Fortunately, he's still in qualifying, but... Oh dear, oh dear. It could have been very, very nasty. Yes, the gap is 109 points. So the championship's wide open. Still got a lot of rounds to get through. Oh, that Drivers' Championship might be interesting with Passassin departing. Bersey, he's coming towards the end of a flying lap, coming out of turn 14. And around turn 15. Back onto the straight, he'll cross the line. Set a 1 minute 17.6. Currently 13th fastest. Still a few drivers setting laps. Express making his way out to turn 4 onto the back straight. And that is Jasket again? No, it's Wing It. The other Ferrari making a mistake at the final corner. comes back into the pits. He was just about to start a flying lap. But unfortunately, he's lost control through the flat-out final corner. Very easy to do. I've seen that on several occasions in different league races, in different regions. The driver's just sort of suddenly losing grip through the fast right-hander. Express, he's making his way through the final sector. Has a McLaren right in front. Not quite sure who that might be. Both McLarens are out on track at the moment. The Express comes out of the penultimate corner around the final corner. That's Kit and Petter going in the pit, so that was the McLaren in front. And this Express goes 14th fastest with a 1:17.764. Currently 1.2 seconds off the pace of pole position, which currently Jack Hawkey holds. So you can tell how close it is here at Portimao, with only 1.2 seconds separating the top 14 drivers. Very, very close indeed. Andy making his way through the middle sector, currently P5 with a 1:16.956. Comes up and over the crest, down the hill, around turn 9, then back up the hill, around turns 10 and 11. Using all the curb on the exit, through turn 12. Nice and wide entry into the hairpin of turn 13. Keeps it in third gear, progressively brings on the throttle. Brings it down to third gear for the penultimate turn. Again, progressively getting back on the throttle, using all the curb. Around the final turn, keeps it flat. Keeps it nice and narrow as well. Up towards the line, Andy Wu jumps to 4th place with a 1:16.888. Bar, are you on a flying lap? You're only just down in the first sector. So you just might be, as Peyton jumps to the top of the table with a 1:16.353. So he's a 10th and a half clear of Jack Hawkey in P2. Bar making his way around turns 10 and 11. And down the hill towards turn 12. He's up by a 10th and a half. That sort of improvement. He might be able to jump into the top 4. I think one of the Ferraris, potentially Jask, making a mistake at turn 8. Just briefly bringing out yellow flags. Ava comes out of the final turn. Up towards the line. He stays P6, so he lost a little bit of time in that final sector. And it wasn't Jask, it was Wingett who made that mistake. And he's getting ready to set a flying lap. Very sideways there, out of the final, or rather the penultimate corner. Oh, JCK has joined the session. Good to see. He's got 5 minutes left in quali to try and set some sort of time. And it sets off on another flying lap. Aaron has invalidated. Jask, yet to set a lap time. He's about to set one here. Up towards the control line. Crosses it, jumps to P4 with the 1:16.773. Wingett crossing the first sector split. He's up by a 10th. Needs to find a bit more time to overtake Express. Through turn 6, then into turn 7 and 8. He's down to third gear. It doesn't quite hit the apex there. You saw there was a fair bit of tarmac between the curb and the inside wheel. So there's a little bit of time, not a lot, but a little bit to be found there. And maybe a tad bit wide at turn 11 as well. And he's down. He's down by a 10th in the middle sector. Cam's just improved to P11 with a 1:17.3. Someone's jumped up. That was KD who's jumped up to P2. Nicholas Latifi completes a lap. Stays P10 for the moment with a 1:17.113. Electric Blade. I believe he's just begun a flying lap. We'll see what Sector 1 says for the Haas driver. Coming up to the first sector split. He's up by only 44 thousandths of a second. See if he can find any more time in the middle sector. Kit and Petter just starting a lap. See what his first sector says. Currently the McLaren's P6 and 7. It's pretty healthy. Sure, they would like a few more positions though. DRS open, crossing the first sector split. He's dead even with his previous best. Electric Blade through turns 10 and 11 and down the hill. Sector 2 says he's up by a tenth and a half. That's a healthy improvement from Blade. Through turn 13. Over the crest through turn 14. Nice and lovely. Sporting a Williams helmet as well. That George Russell special helmet. Electric Blade comes up to the line. Improves to P7, setting a 1 minute 16.831. Kittenpetter, he's found time in the middle sector. He's up by a tenth and a half. Can he nail this final sector? Around the final corner. Keeps it nice and narrow. Opens DRS, crosses the line. It's P4 for Kittenpetter with a 1 minute 16.510. Only 6 thousandths off this man, Jack Hawkey, who's about to set a flying lap. This potentially could be his final flying lap in this session, so he needs to get it right. But he does have enough time, so then if he gets it wrong, he'll be able to set another. Comes up and over the crest on the pitch straight, opens DRS and sets off on his flying lap. Down towards turn 1. Tricky corner to get right, 6th gear, takes it quite nicely. Around the hairpin of turn 3, you have to be very progressive through here, can't be too brash on the throttle. Through turn 4, you see the car trying to lose grip, but Jack keeps control, and he's dead even as well in the first sector. That's the second time I've seen that. So he's equaled his personal best in the first sector. Very impressive stuff. And the two Alfa Romeos there on their final outlaps as well in qualifying. So we'll look at them in just a moment. Down the hill through turn 9, then back up the hill around turns 10 and 11. He's down to 3rd gear, short shifting to 4th, short shifting to 5th to find traction. He's up by almost 2 tenths in the middle sector. Through turn 13, short shifting again to find the traction. Around the penultimate corner, turn 14. Using all the gears he can. Arbar's retired in the pit lane. Best he can hope for is P11. Around the final corner, onto the pitch straight. He'll open DRS, cross the line, and he'll jump up to pole position with a 1 minute 16.312, beating Peyton by less than half a tenth of a second. Peyton now sets off on his final flying lap with KD just behind. Coming through turn 1, 5th gear. Through turn 2. Into the tricky turn 3, 2nd gear. Gets around there fairly nicely. Through turn 4. Pushing as hard as he dares. Opens DRS. What does the first sector split say? He's down by half a tenth. What about KD? Oh, I think he's... No, he's setting a flying lap for sure. I just noticed the clock said he improved by 6 tenths, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't on a flying lap. I'm certain it said he was on an out lap. Ooh, what about Cameron as well? He's up by 2 tenths. He's coming around the final corner. Back onto the pit straight. Keeps it very narrow. Crosses the line. Jumps to P2. Missing out by 1,000th of a second. What about Jask? He stays P6. What about Barmer? I don't think he's improving either. He's 17 seconds down. Pretty sure he's not improving. KD's off the circuit, so he's not improving. So what about Peyton? Around the final corner, onto the pitch straight, up towards the control line. The clock says he's done it. He's done a 1 minute 16.289. He takes pole position away from Hawkey. Aaron, he's invalidated his final lap, so I'm pretty certain that is qualifying over. And it's Peyton on pole by a fairly slim margin as well. Only 22 thousandths of a second separating the top two, and only 24 thousandths of a second separating the top three. Incredibly tight stuff here at Portimao. Absolutely fantastic. KD will qualify P4, followed by Kittenpetter, Jask, Barmer, Electric Blade, Latifi, Nicholas Latifi, then Andy Wu, rounding out the top 10. Only 6 tenths separating the top 10 at the end of qualifying. And Arba, he was only 1/1000th of a second himself of getting into the top 10 too. You're welcome, Kitten Petter. And Cam, well, I mentioned it a bit earlier, that Passassin has migrated over to the PC world now. And I see, we have a bit of a glitch quali session. Yeah, that's a way of putting it, Kitten Petter. Off to greener pastures. The majority of the F1 esports drivers participate on the PC platform, so if Assassin wishes to reach such heights, probably has to try on the PC platform. So yeah, but yeah, it seems like we got a bit of a glitched quali session, and that's because of JCK. He's on an outlap apparently, and he definitely shouldn't be. He's in the Ocon mobile as well. Tell from the number 31. But hopefully when the timer runs out, we'll be able to go straight into the race. Really? Yeah. We got this glitch, do we? Where we set on 1 second remaining and we just sort of wait. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll take advantage of it. Everyone in the top 10 is going to be starting on the soft compound tyre. So, be very interesting to see how that pans out for everybody inside the top 10. I expect these guys are going to go very, very long on the soft tyre. As I mentioned, tyre wear really isn't a thing here at Portimao. I remember watching a wet weather qualifying session in a Pacific League, and the drivers said they did 3 laps on the full wet tyre, and they only had 1% tyre wear in qualifying. Quite remarkable. But there we are. An incredible qualifying session comes to a very tight conclusion. Very tight one indeed. 24 thousandths separating the top 3 in the end. KD in P4, Kitten Petter P5, Jask in P6, Barmer in 7th, Blade in 8th, Latifi in 9th, and Andy Wu rounds out the top 10. We got Arbo in P11, Dream in 12th, Express in 14th, Cam 13th, Cam in 14th, Burzy in 15th, Wingett in 16th, Aaron Carey in 17th, and JCK will start from the back of the field. Hopefully we won't have to restart the lobby. Hopefully. Though I wouldn't be surprised if we had to. It's a few races in a row now. Not here on Contest of Speed, but just generally. With me commentating in several different leagues, we've had a lot of lobby resets as of late. It's been a lot of fun. I just pray to the Codemaster gods that we don't have to do a lobby reset. I really can't put up with another one. It gets very frustrating. Not just on my end, but also for everyone watching as well, and also all the drivers and all the league coordinators and the admin. It just creates a massive fuss. But this is just something we have to deal with the F1 games. I've been league racing since F1 2019, and we were doing lobby resets all the way back then, so it seems like nothing will change, and we'll probably have to have the same sort of expectations next game on F1 2022. I see some hard compound tyres in Barmer's garage. Interesting. I see medium compound tyres, I'm pretty sure, in Dreams, if I look really close at the TV screen. Maybe it'll give us an idea of who's doing what in terms of strategy. Drivers will set off on their formation lap. We'll get rid of the interval. We don't need that yet. Let's have a look at who's starting on what tyre. So we know the top 10, all of them are starting on soft compound tyres. Every single one of them. The first driver outside the top 10 is Arbo in P11. Starting on the medium compound tyre, he'll have Dream alongside, also on the mediums. Express in P13 on the soft compound tyre. You'll have Cam alongside on the mediums. Burzy is the final car in the field, starting on the soft compound tyre in 15th place. We've got Wingett in P16 starting on the mediums. Aaron Carey in P17 also starting on the mediums. And JCK at the back of the field starting on the hard tyre. And he's the only driver starting on the hard tyre. And is it just me, or is his front tyres bobbing about quite a bit? Like bobbing up and down quite a bit. It's like his car's just bouncing around. And look at that, he's not sporting a helmet as well. So that's still a thing in this game, where the helmet is invisible and the driver is just wearing the balaclava. At the very least, they're wearing a balaclava. At the very least. No, it should be fairly interesting to see how everybody fares in terms of strategy. We've got 12 drivers on the soft tyre. We've got 5 drivers on the mediums. And one lonely JCK starting on the hards. I wonder how that will fare for him. He won't have a great deal of pace initially. And if he gets into any sort of trouble, well, he'll only have soft and medium compound tyres available to him. So, be interesting to see how JCK fares. Leaders are lining up into their respective grid slots. P-Dog Payton will have the outside line, the racing line, which should have better grip. But if Jack can convert well off the line, he might be able to lead into turn 1, as Jack has the inside line. But here we go. Here in Portugal, we have 5 red lights, and it's lights out. And away we go. And I think Jack has converted relatively well off the line, but so has Payton. Down the hill towards turn 1 for the first time. Payton and Jack side by side, but Payton gets the nose in front. He should lead the field, but Jack fights back at turn 3. They're side by side through the hairpin. Then up towards turn 4, the midfield trying to find a bit of room to race on as well. KD on the back of Cameron, who is alongside Payton. Down towards the hairpin of turn 5, he's looking round the outside. Surely he can't make the move stick there. Well, he's going to try though, and it's side by side between Kitzenpetter and KD as well. Through turn 6, into turn 7 and 8. They're still side by side, Cameron and Payton. But Cameron has the inside line. Can he get the position? Payton runs wide. Cameron's in front, and he's fully in front now. He's into P2. KD right on the back of Payton, so is Kitzenpetter. He's trying to look around the outside of turn 11. You can't make a move there, unfortunately. Barmer's right behind in P6 too. But a fairly action-packed start at the front of the field. In the midfield, well, there hasn't been any major incidents I can see. No yellow flags, no nothing. So a very nice start by everybody. Good to see. Got a few drivers up, a few positions. Look at JCK, he's up 5. He was 18th, he's 13th on the hard tyre. What a start. The leaders making their way through turn 1. It's fairly close between everybody as Payton already has a 3-second time penalty. Oh dear, oh dear. Only 2 laps into a 33-lap race. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness, 2 drivers off the circuit. It's Kitzenpetter and Barmer. Both of them spinning at turn 4, and they plummet to the bottom of the field. There's Barmer weaving there into the braking zone. So I hazard a guess these two made contact. Both of them spinning out, dropping to the back. That's our first major incident in this race. Dreams on the back of JCK. Those hard tyres won't be amazing. So Dream trying to find a way by, looking left and right. It doesn't help that JCK is moving so much. Oh, and spinning into the barrier. Our first retirement of the race. It's Dream. Oh dear, just lost control at turn 11, and we have a virtual safety car. Oh dear. Just got on the throttle a little too much and just slammed into the barrier. Super easy to do. As I said, at a lot of parts at this circuit, you really are on the edge of grip. It's very, very, very easy to make a mistake. And it hasn't evolved into a proper safety car. We got Express into the pits. A front wing change, maybe? Guess there's only one way to find out. DRS has been enabled. We're back on the green flag running. It's hard tyres for Express, so this is a tactical pit stop. Kitten Petter's going in. He probably has damage. Jack Hawkey has Cameron alongside him at turn 5. Cameron goes through. Jack tries to get the switch back, but he can't get it done. Cameron into the lead. Through turn 7, then into turn 8. There's not much Jack can do other than follow the Mercedes-Benz. Just needs to stay as close to him as possible. Try and use DRS to get back by. Aaron Carey has moved past Cam into 12th place as well. Oh, Sector 2 yellows, that's Wing It. He's made a mistake at turn 8. He had trouble at that corner during qualifying, I noticed, at a couple of occasions. And that is Kitten Petter. He's made a mistake. He gets back onto the racetrack, but he's lost even more time. Cameron coming through the final corner. He's got a 6/10 lead over Jack Hawkey. Now Jack will get DRS. It will help him out quite a bit. He'll close in. See, 6/10, 5.5, 5/10, 4.5, 4/10. He finds a whole heap of time. Whole heap of drivers setting fastest laps. That was because of that virtual safety car period that we had. Barmer, there we are, setting fastest lap at 1 minute 20.1. Those times are probably set to tumble. Jack closes in again with the power of DRS. Not by enough to attack into turn 5 though. Nicholas looking down the inside of Andy here at turn 5. They're side by side. Andy tries to fight the long way round. I think Nicholas gets out in front. He does. Andy slots into P8 right behind the Aston Martin. But he's not too far behind this as well. So we've got a nice tight pack here of cars in this sort of upper midfield. We've got a small group as well back here. We've got JCK, Bursey, Aaron. Oh, and Sector 2 yellows, that is Wing It again. He is not locking turn 8 whatsoever at the moment. Now Jack, he's closer than what he was the previous lap. And that is Kitten Petter again at turn 2. He's not having fun at turn 2. Here comes Jack. With DRS, he pulls out of the slipstream down the inside. Should be a simple move. It is a simple move. He retakes the lead. Peyton, I reckon he tried to follow. He just wasn't close enough to follow Jack through. Oh, that is millimetre close between Cameron and Peyton there at turn 3. That was fantastic. Down the back straightaway towards turn 5. Cameron isn't close enough to retake the lead from Jack. But all he has to do is exactly what Jack did earlier. Just follow, keep as close as you can to the leader, and try and use DRS and get back by into turn 1. JCK and Bursey, hello, what are you two up to? They're side by side at the moment. Through turn 7, JCK cuts off the AlphaTauri. Make sure he hangs on to P10, but he doesn't get the traction out of turn 8. Sort of holds up everybody a little bit. That's only because of the hard tyre. Oh, hello, Aaron. He tries to look down the inside. He's continuing to keep that nose there, but Bursey hangs on to the position. Through turn 13. Nice tight battle between these three. Oh, and again, Wing It. Same corner, just another lap. He really doesn't like turn 8 whatsoever. Jack sets fastest lap. But Cameron, he's closing in. Mercedes-Benz getting bigger in those wing mirrors on the Red Bull. Through turn 2, into the hairpin of turn 3, closes in under brakes. Jackie will try and get as much traction as he can through turn 4 to keep Cameron at bay, and I think he's done enough. Down towards turn 5. Yeah, Cameron isn't close enough to attack. No way. As Aaron gets by Bursey into P11. He did add turn 4, according to the minimap, and that is Wing It, this time at the final corner. He's not liking Portugal, from what I've gathered. Don't blame him either. It's quite a painful circuit at the best of times. Wing It also giving himself a 5-second penalty as he retires from the session, I suppose. We saw that coming. He's just not enjoying himself out there. Yep. Top 4, all in this nice DRS train. But Jask, he's closing in. 1.2 seconds behind KD. He's only 3/10 behind his teammate. Cameron, he might be close enough here. I suppose we'll find out. He has DRS, he's closing in. Look at the overspeed he's got. We're coming up to turn 1. It's not enough. Through turn 2, into the hairpin of 3. Aaron not going for any silly moves just yet. Just biding his time, waiting for the right moment to strike. 4/10 behind Jack. I don't think he's close enough to attack into turn 5. You can hear him backing off quite a lot there. As Nicholas Latifi gets by Electric Blade into P6. A simple move down the inside at turn 5. And he'll try and close the gap to Jask, who is trying to close the gap to KD and get involved in that top 4 fight. Currently 1.4 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo driver. Through this middle sector, he'll have slightly clearer air in comparison to KD, who is pretty much right behind the gearbox of his teammate. So he won't be having a great deal of fun through the middle sector. But they gather all that time back thanks to DRS. Down the pit straight. Leaders begin lap 8 of 33 here in Portugal. There's the top 4. Jask is just behind. Through turn 1. You can see the gap was about 1.2 seconds as Peyton gets his second penalty for the race. The gap was about 1.2 coming around the final corner. It increased by 4/10 by the end of the straight. It really shows you how powerful DRS is. KD not close enough. I'm sure he'd like to get by his teammate. Or as JCK, he's gotten into some sort of trouble. He's spun at turn 4, gets a pointing back in the right direction, but he's dropped to 14th place. Oh, and that's Peyton off the circuit. He's completely off the circuit here at turn 7. How has he done this? My goodness, he was up into the wall. He's skated across the gravel trap. He's gone into the wall. He's got wing damage too. Now, hang on. Check cars here. His teammate's got a complete front wing, I think. He's out of DRS range though, KD. And Cameron, he's right up behind Jack here. Should be a fairly simple move. Peyton drops behind Aaron, losing time with that damaged front wing. And there... Wait! Jack hangs on? You're kidding. How did Jack do that? Cameron should have breezed by. He hasn't. I guess Cameron didn't use any battery, maybe? Or something. Jack hangs on to the lead. Oh, alright. That brings KD back into this too. He was a good second behind Cameron. He's now half a second behind. As Arba gets by Andy here. At turn 5. Electric Blade is in this too. Around turn 7. I'm fascinated to know what happened to Peyton. Whether he got unsettled by a curb. Whether he was hit from behind from his teammate or something. I have no idea. He went shooting off into the barrier. Went all the way across the gravel trap and into the wall. I hadn't seen that before. Not at turn 7 anyway. Right, Cameron. Gonna have a go this time around. I'm surprised he's still in P2, to be honest. Down the pit straight, he closes in. See the overspeed he's got. Not going to close in by enough, though, to attack into one. Round turn 3. Still right behind Jack. Through turn 4. You can hear rather the engine note change. With him desperately trying to find grip through the tricky left-hander. Could also see it as well. The car skating a little bit just past the apex. Still a fairly tight battle here for 5th place. Got Aaron and Bersey as well, still going at it. Aaron, low on battery, you can tell from the flashing light at the back of the car. So he doesn't have a lot of resources in his back pocket as Jask gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Right, these three are going to scrap it out, it seems. Hello, it's Electric Blade. He's off the circuit too. Wow, how have you ended up here? I was bemused with Peyton, Electric Blade. How? That's at turn 13. As Cameron goes into the pits. Right. He's gone completely off the road at turn 12. He's gone and head-butted the wall just before 13. He's gone all the way across that runoff area. My goodness. So Aaron, you're on mediums. Jasp, you're on mediums too. Electric Blade into the pits for some new tyres and more importantly a fresh front wing. Bersey not getting a great run through turn 4, so he won't be able to attack Aaron into turn 5. Battles are few and far between here at the moment. With Cameron pitting in, he's now down in 10th. Fortunately for him, he's in clear air. He's got 5 seconds to his teammate Barmer in P9. So he's able to push, make the most of those medium tyres. It's just a matter of how long Jack and KD will stay out for. Jack coming around the final turn. Does he pit? Does he negate the undercut? The answer is yes. KD follows suit. Nice and steady. They don't want to get a 5-second penalty for speeding. What about Nicholas? He stays out. Arba is right behind. He's only 1.3 seconds behind the Aston Martin driver. So new medium tyres on the car. Where is Cameron? Here he is. Where's Jack and KD? There's Jack there. He's gotten past KD. The undercut hasn't completely worked. But, oh, contact! Oh, no! Cameron, what a shocking move there. Oh, that was shocking. He went for a gap that wasn't really there. He's hit the side of Jack. He spins out. Oh, he needed a degree of patience there. He had tyres that were up to temperature. He would have got by Jack easily. He didn't have to do it at turn 1. He's cost himself time. I don't know if he's got any damage on that car either. But he needed a bit of patience there. He just went for the gap. Oh. And it really, really didn't pay off. Now, for KD and Jack, they've got to get their tyres up to temperature. Jack, from what I can see here, I can't see any damage on his car. So I think both Cameron and Jack, they've gotten away with this. Damage-free at the very least. And that is Electric Blade. He's made a mistake at turn 6. He's got him going again. Right, so Barmer's in the pits. Bersey is in the pits. Putting on fresh medium tyres. Now, Barmer, I think he'll be passed by Express. Maybe Peyton as well. Maybe. There is Barmer. It's close. Oh, don't. He's behind Barmer. He's alongside, looking around the long way. Barmer defends well. Even on the cold tyre. Got a random Sector 3 yellow flag. Not gonna lie, I thought we might have seen a repeat between Cameron and Jack there. It was very close between these two. Fortunately, they sorted it out pretty well. Electric Blade, he's going into the pits. And giving himself a 5-second time penalty to boot, and that's why he's retiring out of the race. Nicholas Latifi into the pits. He's the last of the soft runners to pit. He'll move on to the medium compound tyre and go to the end. And I just noticed KD's in front of Jack. I failed to notice that earlier. And Jask, he's in this too now. This is the effective battle for the lead. It's a three-way fight. Cameron is in this too, and Nicholas comes out just behind Cameron. So if both drivers can get a move on, they might be able to get involved in this battle. Jack closing in, not by enough to attack KD though. KD, he'll be desperately trying to get the hammer down, try and pull away from Jack and Jask. Won't be easy though. With both drivers within DRS range, they'll be almost impossible to get rid of. And looking at the intervals, this is the only battle on track. Everybody else is fairly well spread out at this stage. Arbo's out in front leading. He'll be pitting in, I imagine, maybe lap 17, 18, I reckon. He'll pit for the soft tyre. I reckon he'll try and pit in early. Cam's into the pits. That's very early. He might be going on to the hard tyre. Here comes Jack Hawking. Out of the slipstream, looking down the inside into turn one. KD doesn't put up too much of a fight there. Jack's back into third place. The effective race lead. Through turn 3. Through turn 4. Onto the back straight. Opens DRS, does KD. He'll close in. Don't think by enough though into turn 5. Cam comes out in P12 as well. He's involved with Peyton. Peyton, he'll be trying to get by, but he's got older tyres. He won't have the grip. See him understeer quite a bit there at turn 4 as well. You can see Cam pulling away. Under brakes, he closes in by quite a bit. Using all of the curve and then some on the exit of turn 5. Through turn 7, then turn 8. His electric blade has left the section, fair enough. Over the crest, down the hill, around turn 9, back up the hill, around turns 10 and 11. You can see it's an incredible roller coaster ride here at Portimao. I don't think there is any track on the Formula One calendar that has this level of dramatic elevation change. Just goes up and down absolutely everywhere. Even here on the pit straight, there's a big climb up, then it plateaus, and there's a big descent after the start line as Barmer moves into P10. A fairly nice move. Here's the descent into turn 1, and it's a slight climb again. Through turn 2 and into the hairpin of turn 3. Then you got to climb here through turn 4. A very tricky traction zone. It's very difficult to get it right. Then over a crest, down the hill into the hairpin of turn 5. Clipped the apex quite well there. Barmer got a bit sideways on the exit though. Through turn 6. Over another crest into turn 7. Then 8. And it's a big climb up at corner exit. Over a big crest here, down the hill, through 9. Then back up the hill through 10 and 11. And a big drop through 12, back up the hill, through 13, which is still uphill. Then just after the corner exit, go back down the hill slightly, and it's progressively downhill through 14. And it plateaus, you go back up, through 15, and at the apex it goes into a descent again. It really is amazing just the dramatic elevation change here at the circuit. It's very, very unique. There's not a single racetrack that behaves like that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things too. Electric plane. No. Unfortunate that you had to retire. Or felt the need to retire, I should say. The races do be like that sometimes. Sometimes it's better to cool your jets and race on. Especially when it gets frustrating. KD just half a second behind Jack. He'll be closing in. Don't think by enough to overtake. Could be wrong. I'm not wrong. KD still there, just hovering behind Jack. Trying to put as much pressure on him as possible. Meanwhile, Cameron is closing in. Saw him there briefly at the back of shot. There's Nicholas Latifi as well. Just 2 seconds behind Cameron. They're trying to close that gap up. As Peyton gets by Express. Now a simple move with DRS. Into P11. His next target will be Barmer. But he's on those medium compound tyres, which will feel much better, I imagine, compared to the hards. I believe it was, yes. Well, KD hasn't got into any trouble from what I've seen. But yeah, he had a big moment at turn 7. Yes, it's turn 7. Didn't end up catching it, but I did catch the end of it. Him being smashed up into the barrier. I was surprised how far he went, to be quite honest. Into the wall. KD closing in, not by enough. Needs to get within that sort of 4/10 range, I reckon. Maybe 3.5. He should be able to get by Jack. Still got plenty of laps remaining here in Portugal. Still a lot of racing to play out. So these two don't necessarily have to race straight away. They could just get through the majority of laps, then start to battle towards the end of the race. That would be the smarter thing anyway. But you never truly know with racing drivers what they want to do. I suppose there's only one way to find out. Through turns 10 and 11. Back down the hill through 12. Gap is half a second. So KD still working away at that gap. See how much battery he's got. Doesn't have a great deal of it. Get the telemetry up briefly. 27%. You compare that to Jack. He's got 40-odd%. He's doing a really good job managing his ERS, considering he doesn't have any DRS to help him out. See KD. He's not using any battery to close in. He's just staying behind Jack for now. See there, he dips at 10%. Through turn 1. You heard a bit of a lift there as well. He's just trying to avoid Jack. Around turn 4. It's a nice exit. Opens DRS. He is close. He shows the nose to Jack. Just saying, I'm right here, mate. But he doesn't go for any sort of move. So he's playing a long game here, KD. I don't want to do anything too silly just yet. Aaron and Arbar still out on track. I imagine they'll be pitting in fairly soon to go onto the soft tyre. Really help him out if there was a safety car around about now. It will help him out massively. Particularly Arbar. Because I imagine everybody would pit onto the soft tyre and go to the end on the tyre. I think Arbar might be coming in. He is. It's on the brakes, pulls it up nicely. 80 km per hour speed limit. Or in Queen's English, that's 50 miles an hour. Now Aaron Carey will take the lead of the race. Jack Hawkey will move to second. KD in hot pursuit is in third. Still keeping touch with the Red Bull. Hasn't made any massive impact. KD. And this glitch is still a thing. So, according to the leaderboard, I should be looking at KD. But you can tell from the camera, it's looking at Jack. I wonder what happens if I ride on board. Oh, no, there you go. It switches to KD. That's a nice glitch. That's a new one with F1 2021, by the way. That wasn't a thing in F1 2020 or F1 2019. It's a brand new one. I love it. Well, hello, Jask. Wow, okay. Well, there you go. Big move there. Jask just rolling out the red carpet. Letting Cameron through. Now, I've seen that quite a few times. Electric Blade. Where... I suppose it happens when you start scrolling through relatively quickly. It sort of gets confused a little bit as Aaron goes into the pits. It's been a thing since launch, if I remember. It wasn't like a patch glitch that came through. I think this was a thing since the very beginning. Yeah, they haven't patched it just yet. It's nothing major, it's just slightly irritating. Ooh, as Jack, well, that's a costly mistake there at turn 4. Just running wide, giving himself a warning, and that was enough to give him his first penalty of the race. That may prove to be game-changing for Jack, because the two cars that are behind him don't have any penalties just yet. But he's still got a lot of laps to go through. KD losing a little bit of ground. He's 7.5 tenths behind now. He'll gain that back with DRS, but Jack, he's getting a bit of a move on here. Out of the penultimate corner. Around the final corner. Gap 7.5. On the pit straight, over the crest, crossing the control line. Begin lap 23 of 33. So we've got 11 laps to go. Arbar setting fastest lap as well, a 1 minute 18.737. Those fresh, soft compound tyres will feel fantastic. Cameron doing all he can to close the gap. You can see he's low on battery too, with that flashing light at the back of the car. See there on the telemetry, he's got about 14% in his back pocket. And he's using just a little bit there at corner exit. Doing his best to try and close the gap. Jask just sort of sitting behind, following Cameron about, using a bit of battery there. And that is a lap car, I think, is it? No, it's Nicholas. He's only 1.5 seconds behind. I thought that gap would be bigger, but no, he's only 1.5 behind. I thought it would be about 2.5 seconds, but no, smaller than that. So Nicholas doing very well. And Arbar trying to close in. He's 4.5 seconds behind. Got a lot of work to do. But if he can set some pretty quick and consistent lap times, might be able to close that gap to Nicholas. It's a pity though, the rest of the field is pretty well spread out. Not a lot of battling going on. Quite unfortunate, as Arbar sets another fastest lap, setting a 1 minute 18.653. So he is closing in. Aaron replies with a 118.3. That's a very nice lap time from the Haas driver. He's in P8, currently 4.3 seconds behind Andy. We could probably get rid of the tyre graphic for now. Because pretty much everybody's set to go to the end. Just have to remember that Arbar and Aaron in P6 and 8, they're on soft tyres. Everybody else is on the medium compound tyre, if I recall. Yep. Everybody else on the mediums. Let's try and increase the viewing space, and we probably don't need the telemetry as such. Andy, a 3-second time penalty next to his name. That increases his tally? Begins it. It begins it. So that's his first penalty of the race. As Nicholas overtakes Jask. Oh, he's going into the pits. Interesting. So he's going to put on the soft tyre. There we are. Away he leaves. He'll be planning to push as hard as he can on those tyres. Another neat thing, when you're looking at the penalty graphic, you don't get to see the pit graphic. It doesn't come up on the leaderboard. Yeah, that's right. I saw that crash. Oh, well, I saw the result of it. I couldn't believe how far you went over here at turn 12. Somehow you went all the way over to that barrier on the right-hand side. I couldn't believe how far you went. I'm guessing someone pushed you off into that wall, Lade, I'm guessing. Based off your earlier comments. Sitting in this chair for too long. Starting to sink into it. 6/10. KD closing in. Again, not by enough. I sound like a broken record at this point. What about Barmer? Well, Barmer, Peyton and Jask, they're all in the train. Hello, what are you fellas up to? And Jask, he's on fresh tyres, so he's going to make this a bit interesting for us. See what the Greek driver can do. Easily the quickest Greek driver I know. He's alongside Peyton. Barmer's overtaken Bursey. And Jask has overtaken Peyton at turn 1. A nice move. Round turn 3. Then through turn 4. It's a nice exit down the back straight. Yeah, not by enough to overtake. Oh, no, Bursey replies. Hello, Bursey. Barmer gets a traction on the exit, though. Keeps P8. Jask, he's got a lot of speed with those tyres. Won't be much likes of Bursey and Barmer can do. Oh, hello, Jask down the inside of turn 9. A ballsy move. He'll have the outside line for 10 and 11. Bursey tries to fight, though. They're side by side. Down the hill through turn 12. Jask gets just in front. He cuts the nose off there at the entry to 13. He's into P9. JCK a 3-second time penalty. Rear stepped out, overcorrected and went off. The other thing happened when you came out of the pits, fair enough. And here comes Jask to overtake Barmer. Peyton's done the same thing to Bursey. Nice little four-way scrap here. Very nice stuff here. Oh, hello. That's Bursey? It is. He's gone into the wall at the exit of turn 4. There goes Cam. Oh, hello, Schumacher. Thanks for the compliment. You can see Bursey as well, completely shattered front wing. And KD moves into the lead. That was at turn 1. The battle's on for the lead now. Jack, oh, spinning! The two made contact. Jack loses control, but he gets back onto the circuit. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Jack, well, he's ghosting. So Cameron goes through into second place. A fairly unorthodox overtake, but he's through. And hello, Kitten Petter, you're involved in this too. You're ghosting through Cameron, providing a great distraction. I'm pretty sure that's you anyway. It is you. He's giving us McLaren cam, I guess. Getting to watch the the battle at the front of the field while in 15th place. And Burzy, he goes into the pits. Yeah, oh, and retires. I was about to mention, with the penalty graphic up, you can't see who's in the pits. The pit graphic just refuses to come out. Well then, that move between KD and Jack might be game-changing. Now KD, he's got a 1.7 second lead. When he crosses the finish line, there'll be 5 laps to go. Lap 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 5 laps to sort this out. Now, with Jack behind Cameron, it sort of unleashed Cameron a little bit. Got a bit of clear air, though he's got a great distraction right in front of him. Now, Petter, with all due respect, you do have to obey blue flags. So, if you're going to stay in front, you better get a move on. And I think that's what he's doing. He is pulling away, incrementally away from Cameron. But still, you don't want to interfere too much with the battle at the front. Even while ghosting. I don't even know if ghosted cars produce any dirty air. That'd be a fascinating thing to work out. Ghosted cars produce any dirty air. I wonder if Codemasters would add such a thing. Probably would, knowing Codies. Thank you, Petter. Gap is 1 second, and Cameron should still get DRS here. He doesn't. I thought he would have. Oh no, he got by. Right, okay. I didn't really know where the DRS detection zone was for the pit straight. It's literally at the apex of the final corner. So, Cameron got by Petter before that point, so he didn't get any DRS. He had it then. He has it now, but he's not using any. You can tell from the blue light on the dashboard. When that blue light comes up, you have DRS available to use, and he didn't use any. Huh. And oh my goodness, Jack, how do you have 13 seconds? What? He must have got 2 5-second penalties for cutting the track at turn 3. He should only have 3 seconds, not 13. But Cameron, he's closing in. 8 tenths. I'll make that 9 tenths between the top 2. Exiting the penultimate corner. Cameron, he's got his target right in his sights. And that target's going to become a little bit bigger thanks to some help with DRS. And you can see KD low on battery. You can see that flashing red light at the back of the car. And Cameron's in a similar situation. Both drivers low on resources. Jack, he's steadily losing ground now. There he is there. He's 1.7 seconds behind Cameron as Cam Tizzle gets a 3-second time penalty down in 12th. Car off the racetrack. That's an Alpine. It's JCK. Just briefly off the circuit there at turn 9. Cameron closing the gap. Half a second. Around turn 8. Up the hill, over the crest, Kits and Petter, a 3-second time penalty. Increases his tally to 9 seconds. Then around turn 13. Gap is 6 tenths. Make that 7. KD doing well to hold his own. Cameron chipping away at the gap. Round the final corner. Back onto the pit straight. They begin lap 32 of 33. 2 laps to go. Cameron closes in with the power of DRS. It won't be enough to attack KD though. Through turn 1. Then turn 2, it's 3 tenths of a second. Into turn 3. You can see there Cameron almost within touching distance of the Alfa Romeo. Down the back straightaway. Towards turn 5. Cameron going for the big send. Oh, and he spins out. Again, patience. He had a whole extra lap to try and get by. He sent it into turn 5. It wasn't going to work. And he's dropped to third. That's opened the gates for KD to take the win. The car behind has got penalties, so he doesn't have to worry about Jack. And even if he can get those 10 seconds removed, he's still got the 3-second time penalty next to his name. JCK, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, increasing his tally to 21 seconds. Oh dear, Cameron could have really played himself into it. If he just stayed behind KD, maybe got a really good lap together, he would have got by with DRS on the final lap. But he went for the big send into turn 5, ran onto the curb, lost control of the car, and it's ultimately taken away his chance to win the race. It's the final lap here. At 33 of 33 as JCK retires out of the session in 14th place. Or as KD has a bit of an awkward run through turn 1. Deary me. Quite slow. He lost a fair amount of time to Jack. Those medium compound tyres won't be feeling great, I suppose, on KD's car. Down towards turn 5. Nice and steady. Or again, losing a little bit of traction on the exit. I suppose KD is feeling a bit of pressure to hang on to this. Through turn 7, through turn 8. And up the hill, over the crest, down the hill towards turn 9. Needs to keep it pinned. It's flat out corner. Through turns 10 and 11. It's going to be a close finish. KD losing a fair bit of time over this final lap. He doesn't really need to push. Around turn 13. Then turn 14, the penultimate corner. One corner remains for KD. He doesn't need to push here. He just needs to get around it. Nice and easy from the Alfa Romeo driver onto the pit straight for the final time. KD 1997 wins the Portuguese Grand Prix, with Cameron coming home in second place. Now, Jack will get demoted down to P5, it seems, at the end, but we'll probably have steward intervention after the race. Probably get those 5 seconds removed. That promotes Nicholas Latifi onto the podium in third place, Arbar in fourth, then Jack in fifth, Aaron in P6, Andy in seventh, then Jax in P8, Peyton ninth, and Barmer be our final finisher inside the top 10. Yeah. Oh, what could have been for Cameron? He and Jack had an incident earlier in the race. Spun out, lost time. And again, going for a big send at turn 5 really hasn't worked. We'll end up finishing P2. KD, I'm sure would be very happy with this. If I recall correctly, this will be his first win of the season as well in the AM1 Championship. Not a bad place to get it. A brand new location. Here on Contest of Speed. We got Cameron in second place and Nicholas finishing on the podium in third. There we are. Nice little race here in Portugal. KD taking the win, starting from fourth, winning by 1.2 seconds to Cameron. Then we got Nicholas from P9 to P3, an arguable driver of the day performance there. Arba as well from P11 to P4, he'll be happy with that. Jack P5, Aaron P6, he gets driver of the day. Look at that, from 17th to P6, no wonder he was given driver of the day. Andy in 7th, Jask ended up getting fastest lap and finishing in P8. Then Barmer in 9th, Peyton rounds out the top 10. Got Express and Cam and Kids and Peta, our final finishers. JCK retired, but he's classified. Other non-finishers, Bursey, Electric Blade, Wing It, and Dream, our first retirement. A big crash at the exit of turn 11. There we are. Not a bad race. No safety cars as well. And I suppose I understand the Petter tried to go for fastest lap, but you know, you would know when you're leading. You don't want to get too much interference from lap traffic. Yeah, that's understandable. Huh. Yeah, certainly a interesting race here at Portugal, and I do believe that's a first time win for KD and Alfa Romeo. I will double check that though. I will double check that. Contest of speed. I'm pretty certain. Do forgive me, I do a lot of streams, so it is difficult to keep track. And I imagine this is a first time win because Besassen has won so often in this series. He really has dominated. But with him gone, that could potentially open up somebody else taking the driver's title. Let's see here, KD. 19th, 3rd, 10th. Yep. This will be his third podium in a row. And this will be his first win of the season. He's gotten 4 third places at Italy, Singapore, Brazil and China. This will be his first win. There we are. And I think there will be a first win for Alpha. Yes, Peyton hasn't got a win just yet. So there we are. A first time winner in the season at the very least. And a brand new racetrack. Quite the amazing coincidence there. But I think with everything finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Certainly an interesting one here in Portugal. An eye-opening experience at this brand new racetrack. But tune in next week as the AM1 Championship will start up again. But until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you for round 17 at Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Hopefully that will be an interesting one. Bahrain is one of the better tilkodromes that we go to and typically provides some entertaining racing. So I hope to see you all there. But until then, it's goodbye.